So hey everybody. So welcome back to our BG's Club. Sorry we haven't been posting too much. We have a lot of stuff going on. We got a whole bunch of lives. I don't have one, but my beautiful best friends do. um, so today's video, we're gonna be talking about the books that we chose for each other. So just to recap, I believe I got YA and Rourke, you got what?
I got self-help.
And then Jazz.
I got fantasy.
And Gab, you got
fantasy.
Start it off.
Okay, who wants to go first? I'll go first.
All right.
Get ready.
D. Okay.
She's so excited. Okay.
Okay.
Get out my notes.
Which one shall I talk about first? All right, so a couple weeks ago, we all spun the wheel of genres, and Gabby over here got fantasy. So I got to choose 3 books that I think she will like, and so just off of the description, she has to choose one. So I'm going to start with my first book. And this book, and I really hope you haven't read these books, Gab. But the first one that I have is called Oath Taker by Audrey Gray. And this is actually a series. And the series is Kingdom of Ruins. So I will read the description. So it says, after the Prince of Penreath saved her from captivity, 17-year-old Haven Ashwood spends her days protecting the kind of prince and her nights secretly fighting the monsters outside the castle walls. When one of those monsters kidnaps Prince Bell, Haven must ally with Archeon Halfbane and his band of immortals to rescue her friend. Her quest takes her deep into the domain of a warped and vicious queen where the rules are simple: break her curse or die. Lost in a land of twisted magic and fabled creatures, Haven finds herself unprepared not just for the feelings she develops for Archeon, but for the warring powers raging inside of her. Her rare and forbidden type of magic may be their only hope, ... but mixing light and dark comes with a steep price: Haven's soul. Faced with impossible love, heartbreaking betrayals, and queen intent on destroying the realm, only one thing remains certain: Haven must shatter the curse or it will devour everything she loves.
Can we just give a shout out to your narration? Like,
That was bomb. That was dope.
Listen, so the second book, I think all of these are series. They are series. So this book, I think I saw this in Barnes & Noble the other day, but this book is House of Earth and Blood, the Crescent City series by Sarah J. Maas. And this one's description says, Bryce Quinlan had the perfect life, working hard all day and partying all night, until a demon murdered her closest friends, leaving her bereft, wounded, and alone. When the accused is behind bars, but the crime starts up again, Bryce finds herself at the heart of the investigation. She'll do whatever it takes to avenge their deaths. Hunt Athalar is a notorious fallen angel, now enslaved to the archangels he once attempted to overthrow. His brutal skills and incredible strength have been set to one purpose: to assassinate his boss's enemies, no questions asked. But with a demon wreaking havoc in the city, he's offered an irresistible deal: help Bryce and find the murderer, and his freedom will be within reach. As Bryce, okay, we got some mystery, some thriller, some romance, some love, some demons. Okay, the third and final pick is called The Unspoken Name, and this is from the Serpent Gates series by A.K. Larkwood. This name, I don't know how to say it. Sorrow, it's Csorwe. We'll just say
I don't know.
Sorwe. We'll just call her We'll call her C. How do you say it?
Sorry, maybe sorry.
Sorry. Okay. Sorry. We'll call her C. Okay. We'll call her C, so I don't embarrass myself. Okay. This is a short one. Okay. So C does. Wait. Oh. Okay. There's a question first. I missed that. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So What if you knew how and when you will die? C does. She will climb the mountain, enter the shrine of the unspoken, and gain the most honored title, sacrifice. But on the day of her foretold death, a powerful mage offers her a new fate. Leave with him and live. Turn away from her destiny and her god to become a thief, a spy, an assassin, the wizard's loyal sword. Topple an empire and help him reclaim his seat of power. But C will But C I'm sorry. But C will soon learn gods remember, and if you live long enough, all debts come due.
Oh.
So very vague but interesting. The unspoken name. The cover, the what is it called? The front of the book? What is that called?
Cover.
The cover, Jesus. The cover of the book?
Oh, that gets
still. The cover of the book looks really interesting. That's kind of what caught my eye first.
Right.
But the I guess it's the synopsis, that's what it's called, right? Is very vague, but that's what piqued my attention.
Right.
Yeah, so I'll go next. So I got Rourke. She spun and got SelfHelp, and bitch needs help though. Like I need help, so I wrote these down for me as well. You know. So okay, so the first book is, I don't know if you've heard of it. I know you're big into SelfHelp, but the first one is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. You've heard of it?
Yes.
So it's on your list?
It was on my list.
Oh my God! I know you.
You
do. Okay, so that one is Mark Manson. It's a counterintuitive approach to living a good life. So it's, since it's on your list, but I'll just do a little recap. It's not always positive. Shit is not always positive. There's going to be negative stuff that happens in our lives. It is what it is. And to live our best lives and to be our best self, we need to embrace those negative aspects and really kind of, like I said, embrace it and take those in. And, we come out on top. So I thought that was pretty dope. I think, and I see. All right. So, I feel better now. I'm a little hyped now. Okay. So the next one is called Don't Settle for Safe by Sarah Jakes Roberts. She is a Black author. She is the daughter of Bishop T.D. Jakes. And she's had a rough life. She had not like a rough life, but she got pregnant in her teenage years. She was married young, divorced young, and she faced a lot of adversity and she was able to overcome it. So this book is really just her kind of sharing some of her anecdotes, as well as how we, as especially young Black women in this world, how, whatever little obstacles or stages we're in our life, that we can overcome them, and that there's certain things that we can do, that we should do to always be our best self. So again, that's Don't Settle for Safe by Sarah Jakes Roberts. And I think you might like that one. You might like it. I feel like, yeah, you might like it. All right. So, and the last one, so you might have heard about this one. I saved this one. I found this on Pinterest a couple of months ago. And it's called Moody Bitches: The Truth About the Drugs You're Taking, the sleep you're missing, the sex you're not having, and what's really making you crazy by Dr. Julie Holland. Just from the title alone, I was like, I need this for myself. Because it just slapped at every turn. So this one, so basically this one is, she kind of shares well, she's a doctor, you know, so she really has a lot like the scientific approach to kind of this, kind of like us and being moody bitches, you know. So this little thing says that she shares insider information about the drugs are being offered and the direct link between food and mood, and she offers practical advice on sex, exercise, and sleep strategies, as well as some surprisingly effective natural therapies. So I also thought that you might get a kick out of that. Now, all three, I know you do audiobooks. They're all three available in audiobook form.
Yes.
I listened to this one about like 15 minutes of it, and I was engaged myself. And you know me, I don't care for audiobooks. So I was very engaged, and I was like, all right, like I fuck with her. Like she's cool. All right. So those are the three. After it was a lot to choose from, but I think like based on you and your personality, I thought that these were three that really popped out. That you might get a kick out of, but I mean, if you don't like them, I'll understand.
So I'm not gonna read the synopsis, but I probably will sum these up. Just because I know if I try to read the synopsis, I really don't know what would happen. But I'm just gonna sum it. I just summed it up as best as I could. I was like, you know what? Just try to put it in your own words. This is what I did for myself.
Are these books you've read?
One of them is a book I've read. The other one, basically, I just rewrote the synopsis in my own words. for whatever reason. But bear with me. So the first one is for my fantasy. Okay, this is my favorite because this is one I've read. But it's First Grave on the Right by Dorinda Jones. And so Charlie, she's like, okay, so Charlie's an odd character. She's a private detective, also a Grim Reaper. She sees dead people. And so, of course, that comes with helping like souls cross over. And that also means bringing their killers to justice in order for them to cross over so they finish their unfinished business. And so while dealing with all of this, her complex personal life and this mystery entity / kind of like her guardian angel, she's just like, she just goes through it. And like, the plot thickens from there. It's a series by Dorinda Jones. We love her so much. The second one I did was Chosen Ones by Veronica Roth. So at first I thought it was a YA and I was upset because it sounded good. But basically it is 5 teenagers who are like prophesized to take out this big bad guy, the Dark One. But it's that 10 years later. So after dealing with like being the chosen ones, basically, they all come up with like PTSD, depression, anxiety, stuff like that. So they're all fighting basically their own struggle after, only to find out like at the 10th anniversary, one of them dies, and like they find out that killing him wasn't the end of their like fight. And so his plans, I guess, stretched for those 10 years, and now they're going to have to figure out if they can survive another fight based off of what he left behind, basically. He or she, I don't know if it's actually a boy or a girl. This is my struggle, finding something other than The Chosen Ones for 2020, because I like this other one. We're not going to talk about that.
Oh, God.
Low-key. Okay, but anyways, so from this one is From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I'm probably butchering her last name. But
I heard about that one.
It sounds really good. So basically, Poppy is a maiden. Her life is just solitary. She's not to be touched, looked at, experience any kind of pleasure in any kind of way. And just she can't really do nothing, and she wants to be with her guards doing things, and she's kind of like, I don't know, just there to wait for judgment from gods and hope that things are okay. So but she has a soul, she has longing, she wants to do things. And then there's this man who's part of her guard who enters her life, and he like incites like, anger, that kind of passion, and of course that kind of yearning. and he's the ultimate forbidden temptation. And now there's these people coming up out of the woodwork who are trying to take over the kingdom that they think is theirs, and it all depends on Poppy being worthy of the gods. But basically, everything begins to unravel when they come out of the woodwork. And that is
I heard about that one.
Gabified synopsis. Synopsi.
Synopsi?
I think it's synopsi, isn't it? Are we wrong?
No.
Is that a word?
I don't know.
Word. That ain't a word, y'all.
I'm gonna look it up.
It sounds official.
She said a word. All right. So I got the easiest category, bro. All right. So I got Daphne, and it was YA, young adult. So we're gonna start with the first book, which I chose, was One of Us is Lying. I don't know if you read this already.
It's on my list.
It is? Okay, so I chose this because Daphne loves Clue. She loves all those type of like mystery stuff. So this literally was like, okay, this is Daphne all the way. So the synopsis describes, it's very short and sweet. It describes it as The Breakfast Club meets Pretty Little Liars. One of Us is Lying is the story of what happens when 5 strangers walk into detention and only 4 walk out alive. Everyone is a suspect and everyone has something to hide. Pay close attention and you might solve the mystery. So as soon as I read that, I was like, okay, this is a Daphne book all the way. So I was like, okay, this made me really hype. And then I also chose this because I cheated and read the first chapter. And it starts off with like, I have to cheat. It goes, a sex tape, a pregnancy scare, 2 cheating scandals, and that's just this week's update. So I was like, what? This sounds dope. So that's on my list as well now. But that's the first one. And the second one was A Song Below Water. And that one's by Bethany C. Marrow. This one's brand new. I chose this one because it has an awesome cover, but it is also like pro-Black and all that fun stuff. And this is so Daphne again. So A Song Below Water is the story for today's readers, a captive modern fantasy about Black sirens, friendship and self-discovery set against the challenges of today's racism and sexism in a society determined to keep under lock and key the siren's powers. So that's the synopsis of that. I was like, this is so Daphne all the way, but it was also on my list, so I was really excited about it. And then the final one was Funny Boy. And apparently this was published years ago, 1984 or something. Really good book. I read this one because Daphne has been getting into all these like gay romance and all that stuff. This book really was like, okay, I have to put this on the list. It's called Funny Boy. Okay. It's set in Sri Lanka, where Salvadori grew up. Funny Boy is constructed in the form of 6 stories about a boy coming to age with a wealthy family in Colombo. Between the ages of 7 and 14, he explores his sexual identity and encounters different Civil War tensions leading up to the 1983 riots. Okay, so that one, that's a really good book, honestly. I read it. I reread it. I've read it a couple of times now. It's so good. Okay. I think you'll enjoy it. So, Abby, you get to pick first.
I think I'm gonna go with. I don't know. 'Cause I like. Okay. I'm gonna go with The Unspoken Name.
I hope you like it. I hope it's not trash.
No, I'm probably gonna love it. Come on.
Come on. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm excited about this. But I also want to read The Oath Taker on a side note, just so you know.
That one looks good.
So I think I'm gonna go with The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Okay.
And the only reason is because this has been on my list forever, and I have not read it. So obviously, I was torn between that and Moody Bitches for like I've been debating the whole time. But I gotta read this one. It just keeps coming up, so I gotta read it. Jazz.
It's still hard.
I know. The synopses just were vague on purpose.
But that's not a bad thing. I think I'm gonna go with From Blood and Ash.
Yes. You know what? It was a late edition too. We're excited. I'm excited.
What happened?
I said it was a late edition.
Oh, it was.
I mean, I'm kind of hurt low-key for Dorinda Jones, but at the same time.
Yeah, but a quick side note, Jazz, if you have, like, whenever you have time, like, even, like, not, I know we have our responsibilities with the video, but, like, outside of this, if you have time, please start First Grave to the Right. Please. That is such a great series.
Yeah.
It is you too, Rourke. It is such an excellent, so good. Shout out to Gabby because she put me on a couple years ago, and that shit slaps.
Oh.
And it just gets better. All right, so Gab, I'm sorry.
Daff, I think it's your turn.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. They all sound so good. I feel like I didn't have enough time to think.
You didn't. You have
Do you want us to talk more? We'll talk more if you want.
No, let me just. All right, so I think I'm gonna go with
Instincts.
You know what? Because my first instinct was One of Us is Lying.
See?
That's my first instinct. And all because it really has been on my list, just like you. It's been on my list for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all right, but what was the second? It was C Below.
It was a song below.
A song below.
Yes.
Oh my god, I want to read that one too. I want to read Funny Boy too. All right, well I'll write those down like in my free. But for this, yeah, I'll choose One of Us is Lying.
I read that synopsis and I was like, this is Daphne. What the hell am I doing? Like,